What's up guys, my name is Danny and welcome to Minecraft. Well, actually we're not playing Minecraft today. Psych! Ha! Actually, today is going to be a tutorial on how you can get your shaders to look like this on your system. Plus I'll teach you how to increase your memory so you can run, and the most coolest thing ever, normal mapping. As you can see on those bricks there, this just looks awesome. So you guys get to try out the shaders I use and hopefully you can get it to run just like. So let's jump right in. Okay, so first off, you want to go ahead and open your Minecraft before you do anything at all. You want to go ahead and create a profile. I've already done so and I've named it 1.710. This is the one we're going to be using since it's the most recent. You want to go ahead and set this to not the latest version, but choose 1.710 as you can see here. Hit save profile. Now also too, if you're running an older system, you're going to be using only 1 gigabyte of memory is your max you can do for your RAM. If you have at least 1 gig. If you have an upgraded system that's running a 64-bit operating system, you can use more than 2 gigs. But you got to make sure you're using Java version 7. Any other version will not work. You can use older ones, but it's not going to work as efficiently. But version number 7, so you want to update your Java to 7. If you have 8, uninstall it, roll back to 7. Then you can choose this argument, which is going to be 2 gigs. I have 8 gigs, I can go more, but 2 gigs, I barely break the 30% mark. I mean, it's very rare I even hit that, so the 2 gigs is more than enough. So make sure you have this and you click your Java argument for your Java virtual machine to 2 gigs and use this code. The second is the executable. It will not run it unless you have this checked and you find it to the Java runtime 7 bin. Make sure this is set. And then that's basically it. So you save your profile, run the game, and your game should look like this when it loads. And it's the map you saw us start off in. And it looks pretty plain, right? Not that exciting. So we want to fix that. So we'll go ahead and exit. Make sure you exit after you've loaded it. So now you have a profile. Now the next thing you want to do is go to these websites. I've already had them loaded up in the description, so check the description for the links. But the first one you're going to get is Forge. Forge, and you want to get the latest one, which is 1.710. Highly recommend going for the recommended one if you have problems, but always go for the latest. It's going to be this one, and then choose the installer. Download that, it'll take you to the ad fly. If you have problems, stay on page, refresh it until you can see the skip ad on the top right. Once you downloaded that, you're going to go ahead and click on the Forge here, double click, hit install, and this is after you've already ran the game with 1.710. Click OK. It's going to compile some stuff. It's going to say it grabs 7, 10 libraries, and it'll say successfully done. If you have any problems, go back to step 1 and redo it. That's done and out of the way. Once it's done, reload Minecraft, the actual client, and then go to edit profile. You'll notice that it still says 1.710 right here. Scroll to the very bottom. You'll see it has Forge 1.78. Get the newest one. I have 2 versions here, but get the newest one. Click that and then hit save profile. Alright, so you see at the bottom left right here, Minecraft 1.710, and then Forge version at the bottom, 3 mods loaded, 3 mods active. That's just showing what mods I have, but it's running. So that's good. So if you go ahead and go in your options, you'll see where it says shaders, resource packs. That means everything's working. And go ahead and quit the game. Next up, the second thing you want to download, and your shaders will not run without this, is the shaders mod. So you're going to hit download on this right here. Click on the shaders mod 1.710. It'll take you to Dropbox. You want to download this file. Once it's downloaded, it will be right here. This file you don't have to double click on. It's very simple. You go to start, run, you're going to type this in, %app, data, %app data, and then finish with the %. This will take you to your roaming folder. You want to click on .minecraft. Then you're going to have to click on mods. This folder is not already created. You will need to create it. It is all lowercase. Once here, you can see I've already put it in. You want to click and drag and move it to the mods folder. Once it's in here, that mod is correctly loaded. Start the game afterwards. This will load the mod in. Alright, so next, you can go now use shaders. If the shaders button wasn't here, that's probably because you didn't have the shaders pack loaded. If it does show now, then it's working. I already had shaders installed, so that's why it's showing. What you'll see in yours is normal or internal and none. That's all you'll see. but you will have the ability to run shaders. Next, the second thing you want to do, or the third thing is to download the shaders pack. You want to go to this link of Minecraft forum. They have the shaders pack for Sonic Ether's Unbelievable Shaders, and they have version 10.1 released out so far. This is the latest one. Very nice, but if you scroll at the bottom, this is for the link. I had to look for this one myself, but it's under downloads. There's 4 versions. You have standard, which is just the shaders, ultra, which is a lot more detail. It's really nice. It's a lot more intensive on your computer. Ultra DOF, which is depth of field, so if you're looking at something close, everything behind gets blurred, which is really, really nice. And ultra motion blur, I don't recommend it. It's kind of a headache, but if you like that stuff, cool. Go ahead and download the ultra DOF if your system can handle it. If not, go with standard. They don't have light yet, but work with that. So once that's downloaded, you'll get this SEUS version 10.1U Ultra DOF. Now this does not have normal mapping enabled by default. So before we do anything, open this with the WinZip or any kind of WinRAR program that can open an archive folder. You'll get this. Go into shaders. Now you're going to look for a type of file called gbufferstrain.fsh. You're going to go ahead and copy this to your desktop. Drag and drop. Now you're going to open with Notepad or WordPad. I usually use WordPad because it's easier to read. Now, in order to enable normal mapping, you have to do one simple thing, and it's at the very top. See where it says define parallax right here? I have it highlighted. The first 2 forward slash brackets, just go ahead and backspace those, and then hit save. And you're done. That's as easy as it is. It's nothing complicated. You don't listen to anybody else that says it's, oh my god, it's super hard to do. It's not. It's easy. So this is the modified version. Before you put it in, you have to right click and delete that specific file. If you copy it, you may have issues. So once it's deleted, you click and drag and put the archive back in there. And make sure it's in there. If it's not, it will not work. Double check that it's in there. Once it's done, you can get rid of the one that's on the desktop. Close this out. Take this one. And then you're going to go into your %app data folder, your roaming. And you're going to go into .minecraft. You're going to go into shader packs. Take that and drag it in here. I've named this one normal mapping. This is the modified one. They're both the same file. So make sure it's put into that folder, your shaders pack. Now if this folder isn't there, create a shaders pack folder. It's all lowercase. Otherwise, if it has a capital S, it will not work. Make sure it's all lowercase. Once that's in there, go ahead and load up your Minecraft. Just to test it, make sure everything's 100%. If anything messes up at this time, go back to beginning, start over. If you miss a step, it won't work. Then you go to options and you go to shaders. If it worked correctly, you will see Sonic Ether's Unbelievable Shaders version 10.1, whichever version you chose, and if you rename the file, it'll show that. I renamed it to say normal map so I knew which one it was. I go ahead and click on it, and I click done. Go ahead and load the map to see how it works. And as you can see, the shaders are loading very well. Now, if you see the clouds, like I do, there's no square blocks, that's great. But if you do happen to see square blocks, here's how to fix it. I've come across this before, and the thing is, it looks like this. I'm like, that's not right. And if you guys are wondering, hey, how come I see square blocks? That's not how the clouds are supposed to be. Simple fix, guys. Go into options, video settings, turn the clouds off. Back to game. Now this looks fairly decent. The water's got the nice reflections, the lighting looks amazing, there's shadows being cast, and if you like that, that's great. Then if you don't like the shadows, you can go under shaders and you can turn cloud shadow off, which me personally I like better because the clouds are not round when they hit the blocks, they're kind of square. So there you go. That's the basics for this. Okay, and lastly, to take advantage of our normal mapping shader pack that we had just modified and made, you want to download the next file, which is the Chroma Hills texture pack, or resource pack as they now call them. This specific resource pack already has normal maps and specular mapping enabled, so you don't have to worry too much about it. And what those do is the normal mapping creates 3-dimensional textures on a 2-dimensional plane, while specular mapping actually creates that sparkle effect in the lighting. Very, very amazing. This is the most detailed and most up-to-date resource pack I have seen, and I highly recommend it. It's amazing. I think they work in tandem with Sonic Ether shaders, so try it. And you'll notice that there's a 1.7 and a 1.8. I have tested them both out with 1.710 Forge and Sonic Ether shaders. They both work fine. I highly recommend downloading 1.8. It takes a little longer, but the resource pack is most up to date and it has better graphics. Once it's downloaded, you copy this resource file into your resource pack folder, as you can see here. This is also in the %appdata%, which is your roaming folder .minecraft/resource packs folder. Put it in here. Now, if you have issues with this, make sure you're doing it what the video is telling you. It's easy, guys. Come on. Next thing, you go ahead and load up your game. If you already have the game loaded, you can do another method of adding those resource packs in, is to go directly through the options setting. I'll go ahead and show you that. You can usually do the shaders too as well. But for more of you advanced guys, you can do that. You go to options, you go to resource pack. Now you can open the resource pack folder here and it shows you where it's at, or you can just do %appdata. But if you're lazy, you can do that. Next, in order to enable it, you have to click this. Now sometimes it's a little picky, it won't enable, but you want to go ahead and put it over there, make sure it's on top of default, and click done. Give it a second to load, as it is a 128 by 128 texture pack size. It is a very large size. Once successful, it'll look like this. Go ahead and click done. We'll go ahead and load up our map and see how it looks. If it's loaded correctly, it'll look like this, and you'll see three-dimensional textures. Now there's one issue that I have run into with using these particular shader packs. Now remember, this is still under development, this shader pack, so there are going to be some artifacting, but it looks pretty darn good, so you're not going to see too many problems. Do keep in mind, running with the displacement maps, the specular lighting, and the normal mapping, it will hog memory on your system. As you can see here, I'm running about 18 to 30 frames a second on 2 gigs of RAM using 21% to 17%. But if you want the... Oh yes, the problem. So if you guys are just got the texture pack installed and it seems to be running, you'll notice that there's little tiny lines in between the blocks. You'll be like, hey, something's wrong. Easy fix. This is not something super bad. And there's a zombie following me. All you need to do is go into options, video settings, and if you scroll down to the very bottom, if you have it windowed, anisotropic filtering. I probably butchered that. Drop that to off. It does something with the resource pack and the shaders, so make sure it's turned off. You can have mip maps turned up, which it only does is smoothing it out. VSync, any other settings, you can turn those all on, as long as it doesn't interfere with it, doesn't do any lagging. If you are using, as a side note, if you are using Optifine HD, it will cause some tearing, so keep that in mind. It runs differently than normal. It should run fine without it, but if you go ahead and enable that, give it a second to load. I died. But if you notice, now there's no more tearing. It looks very smooth. You'll see some sparkling or some things like that, but like I said, this is a lot for the game to process, but it should look very, very nice now. And that's how you do the shaders. Okay, so I switched to full screen. Now you can kind of see what it looks like in full screen. And it just looks amazing. Now if you don't see clouds, more than likely it's because you're using an outdated Sonic Ether shader pack. The 10.1 version already has it modified to where the clouds show up and they're procedurally generated, and it works perfectly fine and you shouldn't have to modify it. But if you're not, you need to try version 10.1. Anything older, you're going to have to mess with it, and it's a lot of lag on your system, so use the latest ones as possible. All the links for the downloads are in the description, and everything on here should work just fine. If you have any problems, and if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment in the video. I'll address those for you and try and help you out with getting it set up the way I have it set up as well, or any questions that you have about your system. I do know quite a bit about hardware and software, and also with running with the shaders. I've most of it from personal experience and trial and error. But if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like, and subscribe to see more of my stuff. As always guys, thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you out a lot. And I will see you in the next video. Laters!